What's up guys, my name is Robin and welcome to today's topic video on my channel RobzarrGoesRawr. I just had to double take them because I thought I just messed up my intro, but it's all good. So today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Sony products that are coming to the market, two of them in particular. The reason I'm doing it on this is because I want to keep it fresh. I know I talk a lot about video games and TV series and films in these kind of videos, so even though this is still kind of related to games a little bit, I suppose, it's kind of more about the technology behind them than the actual games themselves. So Sony have released definitely one, possibly two, new hardware systems coming to the PlayStation range. One of them being the PlayStation VR set, which I am ecstatically excited for, and the other one being the PlayStation 4.5, which I think is the most dumbass stupid idea on the planet. But before I get into that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the PlayStation VR headset. It's due to come out in October, I think, October-November time. It's priced at just over £300, which is great. Obviously they had a lot of they know they've got tough competition with the Oculus Rift and the Samsung VR headsets that comes with the phone now, so obviously they need to make it as accessible to people price-wise as possible, otherwise they are going to lose the race in VR headsets. Obviously the Oculus Rift is going to be a lot more powerful anyway because it's PC compatible, and that basically gives the user unlimited graphics depending on what their computer system is like, whereas the PSVR will be kind of limited to PlayStation 4's graphics. So as much as I'm really looking forward to the PlayStation VR headset, and I've already pre-ordered mine, I'm going to get it, started saving for it coming out at the end of the year like I said. Sony did a really dumb thing and they announced the PlayStation 4.5, which is going to be the main talking point of this video. The reason the thumbnail is a VR headset and not the PS4.5 is because it's just a PlayStation 4, and I didn't want to put like just a PlayStation 4 there when there's still something new to talk about, that being the PSVR. So the PlayStation 4.5 has irked me to no end because it is basically the same as a PlayStation 4 with 4K graphics. Priced at the exact same price, if not higher than the original PlayStation 4 selling price, and literally the only difference is that there's going to be 4K graphics. Now, at the moment this is only a rumour that this is happening, but from what I've read it's very strong rumours, and a lot of it's come from Sony themselves, so you know it's very likely going to be happening. And here's my issue. As much as I appreciate that, like the PS3 did, you know, different versions of the PS3 came out after time, the PS4 came to life, came to us at the same time that 4K TVs were basically coming to a wider range of people and becoming more publicly available price-wise. 4K TVs, for you guys that didn't know, 4K TVs when they first came out were thousands and thousands of pounds, and now you can pick one up for a couple of £100, obviously depending on size. And that started to happen around the same time the PS4 became available to purchase. And here's my issue is, why is there not an upgrade available for the original PS4 to be compatible with 4K graphics? And that is the biggest problem I have with the PS4.5. I mean, I have a 4K TV. I have a Sony 4K TV, in fact. I have 4K screens on my computers, and it's fantastic to see. It is. You know, it's like when the difference between standard definition and high definition became like a thing, and people were like, oh, you can't really notice it, but then you really look and you can. It's like that, but a little less noticeable. It's not quite as noticeable as standard definition to HD, especially game-wise. Obviously, there was a massive leap forward in graphics when HD became the primary use for the PS3. Obviously, that still had standard definition capabilities as well, which is another reason why I'm just there like, why is there not HD and 4K compatibility within the PS4? And it irks me because, you know, the PlayStation 4 is barely 3 years old. it's just hitting, it's kind of like prime. It's breaking records left, right and centre as far as like the console race goes between the PS4 and the Xbox One. And you know, people have paid a lot of money to have this console, like, and now they're being like, right, buy it again, buy the exact same thing again with 4K graphics. And it just seems like the most stupid thing that they could do, considering, you know, if 4K was like non-existent when the PS4 came out, fine. But it wasn't. PS4 came out the same time that 4K graphics in TVs started to become more readily, they existed like a couple of years before the PS4, and it was starting to become readily available to the public price-wise when the PS4 was released. So given the fact that the PS3 had the capability to run standard definition and high definition graphics, why is the PS4 not able to run high definition graphics and 4K graphics? It just seems like a really big waste of time and money that people have spent buying these consoles just to have to replace it purely because of graphical capability. I mean, like I said, I have a 4K TV, but I am not going to rush out to go and buy a 4K PlayStation when I have a perfectly good PlayStation 4 sitting in my office. It's a complete waste of money, and obviously I know you can part exchange and whatnot, but I'm just there like, what's the fucking point? It just means you're having to set everything up again, you're having to re-register everything, you're having to kind of like upload your save files to one thing and then redeposit them back onto another, and it's just a big old pain in the ass. And I'm just there like, why was that necessary? Why is there not some... Because you know how the PlayStation 4 works, you know, it's got all these servers and internal hardware and software that become available as the PlayStation 4 upgrades, and when you run an update on the PlayStation 4, more of its capabilities become unlocked, much like the Xbox One, but the PS4 has about 1 million times more power. And given the fact that it's got 1 million times more power, why is there not an update for 4K graphics? And it comes down to the fact that Sony obviously just want to make their money off of us, and you know, people pay a lot of money for Sony products. They're not cheap, and you know, I myself have paid thousands and thousands of pounds. I have every like PlayStation that has ever been released. I have a Sony TV, I have a Sony laptop, I have a Sony phone, and I'm just there like, why would I spend more money on something that I have already got that could easily just be upgradable through an update? It just seems like the most stupid thing ever, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why it wasn't thought of to put an upcoming update into the PS4's hardware so that it could run 4K graphics. Because if you think about the like forgetting the console war, the PS4, with how powerful it is actually very much more hot on the heels of PC gaming than it is the Xbox One. And given that, and given the knowledge that the PC can be infinitely upgraded, it can be infinitely kind of like accessible graphically wise, and it is 4K ready as long as you've got the graphics card installed, why would you go and make someone else buy a whole new console when the PS4 is clearly powerful enough to run them graphics with an update? It just doesn't seem logical to me. It really, really doesn't. I'm not going to rant on for too much longer, but I want to know what you guys think about what I've said. Do you think there should be some kind of update to the PS4, the original, you know, the first PS4? Do you think there should have been some kind of update system to that would allow for 4K graphics when they were detectable through a 4K TV? Do you agree with the fact that Sony shouldn't be releasing a whole new console at like high console price, probably more so, purely because of 4K graphics? Do you think the VR headset is going to be affected in any way? Because obviously it's going to be something that is going to be brand new in Sony's kind of system, and obviously when it becomes available for us to purchase, it's going to be something that is going to be in high demand, and like graphically it's gonna have to be spot on, because the race between the PSVR and the Oculus Rift is gonna be so tight that it's gonna probably have about that much in between. And I'm just curious what your thoughts are on where you think Sony are going with their hardware choices. I mean, I love Sony products as a whole. I adore my PlayStations, and you know, I have never had a bad Sony product. I want to put that out there. I've never ever had a bad Sony product. Yes, some consoles have got issues, but every single piece of technology that you buy at some point will break, and there is always a risk that you're going to get a faulty product. And you know, that's just life. That's not Sony. That's just how technology is overall. But I want to know what your thoughts are on what you think there was going through their mind when they designed the PS4 and didn't give it the capability to run 4K graphics, given the time that it was released in relation to 4K TVs becoming more readily available to the public. So that's what I want to know from you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. That's going to be it from me for this video. It's a bit shorter than normal, but I was just kind of like wanting to rant about that to somebody, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it as a topic video. So that's going to be it from me for this video. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Keep an eye out for the rest of the videos that are coming out this week. And until the next time you hear from me, guys, as always, stay classy, gamers.